An update to the recruiting saga surrounding four-star running back AK Deer, and some big talk coming out of fall camp regarding Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe. Coming up next on Way Offsides. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever the case may be. Welcome to a Way Offsides pop-up, where we bring you the latest in news, rumors, social media, all things regarding the Alabama Crimson Tide. Recruiting has pretty much come to a grinding halt outside of a couple of high value key players, Justice Terry, Khalid Lockett just committing to Texas, guys like that. But there's one guy that Alabama fans have had their eye on for a while, and that is four-star running back AK Deer. Now, a lot of you, when we do our lives, you ask, what is going on with AK Deer? Why hasn't he committed yet? We keep telling you we think there's something logistical going on. We'll see that that's not based in fact, that we don't know that. It's the one thing that kind of makes sense. Maybe it's grades, who knows? But for those of you out of the loop, and I don't understand how you would be if you're hanging out with us, four-star running back AK Deer was committed to University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. He decommitted a few weeks ago, and it's all been Bama since. It looks like Alabama will land the four-star running back, but earlier today he posted a picture of him in an Ole Miss powder blue uniform. I know he posted it to Twitter. We put a short up where you can see the tweet. We'll bring it up on the screen here too. He also posted, I'm pretty sure he posted it to Instagram too. I started getting a lot of DMs. Hey, what's going on with AK Deer? Why is he posting stuff about Ole Miss? Completely caught me off guard. So shout out Howard Pollock, one of our members. Howard is actually who saw it first and sent it to me on Twitter. But anyway, sorry, lost my train of thought. In terms of AK Deer, I started doing the research, started doing some digging, and it didn't take long to figure out what was going on. Other players who are targets for Ole Miss, one guy, Tyler Lockhart, who is 100% committed to Mississippi State right now. They were posting the same graphic, obviously, with their image. So that tells me, and this is an assumption, I don't know for sure, but Ole Miss sent these guys these graphics as a recruiting tool, and they're posting them to their socials as anybody would. Well, shortly after that, AK Deer put all concern to bed when he posted a recruiting image of him at the University of Alabama, and he actually took some of the text from the first image and had it photoshopped into the Alabama image graphic. And so I don't think there's anything to be concerned about there. I think AK Deer is Bama's next big target. I do think Bama's still making a play for Justice Terry, but in terms of guys who we know Bama's going to get, AK Deer is probably the guy. There's been a lot of smoke around losing Anthony Rogers to Auburn or Ohio State. I think a lot of that is pending what happens with AK Deer. But I think that ball is rolling, and Deer will likely end up in Crimson, like we've been telling you for a little over a month now, maybe even almost closer to 2 months. But, as we're 20 days out from the season, AP poll just dropped, preseason AP poll just dropped today. As we get closer to the season, recruiting kind of dies down, but guys will take visits to games. You can expect a lot of these guys to probably be in Tuscaloosa on September 28th. So in terms of recruiting, it's far from over. Alabama's playing the long game here. There is a lot of rumors on social media regarding certain flips and what's going on in their lives. We won't get into that here, but there's a lot of things that could change in the next few months. We keep telling you guys this, the early signing period doesn't start until December. And so a verbal commit right now is just that. It's me saying, hey, I'm going to do this. You put faith in the fact that I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do, but we're talking about 18, 19-year-old kids. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. In other news, but before we get to the other news, I need you guys to like, subscribe, and share our content. If you can, share it on social media. If you're part of sports groups on Facebook, if you have an Instagram, TikTok, whatever, make snippets of the show, share it on TikTok, but share us all over the place. We are trying to build a very close-knit Alabama family. Over on X, things can get a little testy. People get a little argumentative. They fight. That's kind of not our thing here. We want a close-knit group of people who can rely on each other, depend on each other, and kind of, keep each other hyped during the season and into the basketball season and other sports. And so if that's you, definitely please click the subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell. If you do that, you never miss. Chris is doing a live Q&A. We've got a live coming up on Thursday night. You'll never miss those things. Also, if you didn't know, we have launched our official Way Offside store. There's a ton of merchandise already available. You can get you one of these right here. But we do have other products. We have a line of just waiting on the tide to roll. These are different collectible shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, shorts, a lot of different things, hats, koozies. I think there's even bandanas for dogs. There's a lot of stuff. But it's got different images of elephants just doing random things while they wait on football Saturday. And I know some of you are going to ask, so the hat, the Alabama hat, you probably, if you're on X, I'm sure you've seen this. This is from University Traditions. They do not sponsor us, but the hat is so fire. It's gas. Had to cop it. That's what the kids say, right? It's gas. Anyway, on to news. Before we talk about memberships in a little bit, Josh Pate just tweeted out a little while ago that there's a lot of talk around Jalen Milroe and how he is going to thrive in this Kalen DeBoer offense. Most of us, as soon as we realized who Kalen DeBoer was, what he did at Washington, what he's done other places he's been, we recognize this immediately. Like, this is definitely an offense that Jaylen Milroe can and will thrive in. And I think you started seeing some of that in fall camp. If you go back and watch some of our other videos, there's some fall camp snippets, compliments of guys like Charlie Potter, Nick Kelly, even Touchdown Alabama. So if you go back and watch some of those snippets, you'll see Milroe making some of these insane throws, these short intermediate throws, which Alabama fans, the majority of us have been like, that's what he needs to improve. And you're right. But it looks like he is. And Josh Pate's been pretty vocal today about this progression of Jalen Milroe. The talent is, the raw talent's there. Milroe has one of the most gorgeous, beautiful deep balls in the country. Obviously, we all know what he can do with his legs. If you watched the LSU game and had any doubt, he took that away from you. But Milroe, a lot of people call him a glorified running back. And I don't think that's fair. And we've talked about this before. I'll hit at it again because I just think it needs to be said about the guy. First and foremost, he finished 6th in Heisman voting last year. It's not like he's a scrub. Also, Jalen Milroe did not trust his coaches. He didn't trust his offensive line. He didn't trust the play calling. There were a lot of things that he did not trust last season. And no matter what he does on the field this year, I think that trust is building. I think that trust will be there this year. But no matter what he does on the field this year, I want to remind each and every one of you that Milroe, he stayed through that debacle at USF last year where he was benched for Ty Buckner, straight trash. He's playing wide receiver at Notre Dame now. He was benched for that guy. And some of you wanted that to happen. Let's be honest. Some of you wanted it to happen. I wanted to see Ty Simpson, but definitely not Tyler Buckner. And then he stayed when Nick Saban left. Not only that, he stayed and he built a brand, something that with the Lank, if you haven't watched the Lank documentary, you need to check it out. It's actually very interesting. Him and Terrion Arnold. But he actively worked to keep guys in Tuscaloosa in a very crucial 30, 45-day period where there was just this uncertainty around the University of Alabama football team, who was going to go, who was going to stay. Some guys didn't stay that we wish would have. But ultimately, the guys that have stayed, the chemistry that you're going to see on the field this year, especially offensively, but I think as an entire team, a lot of that can be attributed to Jalen Milroe. So seeing him make these progressions on the field is going to be incredibly rewarding. And these are the reasons that we've been saying that Milroe yes, we can't guarantee you that Jalen Milroe is going to win the Heisman Trophy or a national championship. We can't say that in all 100% earnest without being biased, which we are. We're all Alabama fans. But that's why we're so high on what he is going to be able to do, because he's going to take that next step in offensive evolution as a quarterback. And if he does, he's going to be right there when it's all said and done. Not only did Josh Pate give Jalen Milroe props, he gave Ty Simpson props, which I think Alabama fans also need to think about this in the coming season. Ty Simpson, who knew there's no way he's going to start this season. And then you bring in a guy, Austin Mack, under Kalen DeBoer. And so Ty Simpson's kind of like, what, what's going on? But he's staying, biding his time. It reminds me a lot of like Mac Jones, guys like that. Even Jalen Hurts when it was obvious it was Tua's job, when Tua took over. He's staying and is biding his time. And next season, Ty Simpson will be just as good, if not a better passer than Jalen Milroe. And he too stayed during that same awkward, emotional transition from Nick Saban to Kalen DeBoer. And that's something that Alabama fans, in all of this talk, all of this chatter, all the things that are going to happen during the football season coming up in 20 days, that's something I really encourage Alabama fans to remember and keep in mind with those two guys. They stayed. Not only did they stay, they stayed and they did everything in their power to keep the team together. 100% certified Gumps, man, in a good way. So that's all we've got for you. As always, like I said, do the whole subscribe thing. Please, it helps us out. We really enjoy bringing you guys content. The more you share it, the more people see it. The more subs we get, the more we can really pump out content. Also, memberships. I talk about these every show. Please consider becoming a member. Gives you exclusive access to a lot of things. You can see it here on the screen. I won't beat you over the head with it, although I would love to, because we really need your help with that. And then the merch store. We've got merch all over the place. It's no longer coming soon. It's live on YouTube. There's a link to our merch store there. And I'll even put it in the description video. But guys, we love you. We've got a live coming up tonight. Chris is going to do a Q&A. I wanted to get a quick video out before that. We've got our regular show coming up Thursday night. Our last show was great. We had Nick Kelly from AL.com on. If you haven't watched that, please go back and check it out. But that's all I've got for you this evening. I'm going to go inside and eat some dinner and just chillax the rest of the night. But I hope everybody's doing well. We love you. We'll see you Thursday night. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.